So welcome back. So Jay, man, I really appreciate, man, you sharing a little bit about your journey. I know you kind of had to condense it, but I'm sure there's so much more to your story. But I was, wondering if you could share a little bit about maybe some adversity you've encountered throughout your life, throughout your career, and how you overcame some of that adversity, and how people can sort of get inspired about a little bit of that. So do you have a story for us?
Oh, I have several stories. How much time do
Bring it
you
on,
have?
man.
That's the
Bring it
thing. Do
on.
you have the
Throw
time?
us a couple. Throw us a couple.
I mean, I hinted at some of it. I mean, when I got out of school, my tape wasn't great, and I'm not surprised that I didn't, get any bites when I didn't, and I was upset and I was done, and I tried to go to grad school, but for some reason, grad school told me no, and then I was like, what am I going to do now? So when my dad told me, I guess you need to go back there and try to find that little TV radio job that you've been wanting, he was right. I needed to keep doing it. And it, I had to see other people. Well, I take that back. I'll tell you a quick story. I chased love to Washington, D.C. Never do that, by the way. No, don't do that. Don't do that. And I got this job that I couldn't stand. I was staying with my aunt and my uncle. They graciously let me live in their home while I was looking for a job. And it was like I was making cold calls, sales, retail, something like that. And I hated it. On At the end of day 4, I quit. I didn't go back for day 5. Like, I woke up the next morning and I was still home, and they were like, "Why are you here?" I said, "Well, I didn't like that job, so I quit the job." And they said, "Okay, so what's your other job?" I'm looking. I don't have a job, but I'm looking. Oh, so you had a job, but you quit that job because you didn't like that job, but you don't have another job ready to go to. I said, "No, I'm going to look. I'm going to look." Okay. And they left the room and chatted and came back, and they said, "Well, here's the deal. You have 30 days to find a job. And if you don't have a job at the end of 30 days, you're going to have to leave because you
Wow.
had a job. You may not have liked it, but you had a job and you just quit it without another one. That's not a smart thing to do. So you have 30 days, young man." And at
Wow.
the end of 30 days, I didn't have a job and I had to go. I was like, "Really? I need to leave?" "Yes, you got to go." And that was some tough love, but it was the best love. Um, I went and I stayed on my frat brother's couch in downtown DC and ended up getting a job, finding a job. Still wasn't what I wanted to do. At MCI, I was doing telemarketing, and I met a friend of mine. Her name is Annette Mallory. I have no idea where Annette is now. She was also a communications major. She didn't like working at an MCI, and she decided that she was going to move to Chicago and become the next Oprah. And I helped her move to Chicago because she couldn't drive a stick shift, and the moving truck was a stick shift. So I can help you move. And she inspired me by chasing her dream, because while I had a job, it wasn't the job that I wanted. So when I got back from Chicago, I called my friend and fraternity brother. His name is Don Roberts. He was a TV anchor and reporter in the Portsmouth, Norfolk market. At the time, he was a news director at a small radio station. And I called him up and I said, "This is what I want to do. I don't want to do what I'm doing. I want to do what you're doing. I met you in college. We've talked. This is what I want to do." And he said, "I can give you plenty of experience, but I can't pay you any money." And I was making $16,000 at MCI. And I called my mom and my dad and I said, "Okay, I have a job. I'm doing this, but I don't want to do this long term. I want to do that. Problem is, there's no money, but he's promising me experience. But I really want to do it." And they talked, and my dad was like, "Okay, do it. Come on back to Norfolk. You can stay at the house and do it." Now, I got another job to bring some money in, but I was essentially chasing my dream, working for free, getting the experience that he promised me. And that snowballed until 22 years
Right.
later at ESPN, and boom, pow, it seems easy, but it wasn't. There were a lot of bumps
Come on,
along the
man.
way. A lot of bumps along the way.
Well, I think, man, see, a lot of times with us, I mean, I think, and I'm just generalizing, that we quit, man, because there was a couple opportunities right there in those stories where, someone could have gave up, could have gave up on their dream, and then
Well, I did give up. I did give up. I was going to
Yep.
go to grad school. I quit. And grad school told me no. That's the
Right.
best no.
Right.
No's,
Right.
no's are so good for you. You know?
Yeah, man.
That's the
Wow.
best no I got.
That's
If they'd have
incredible.
said yes, we wouldn't be having this
No,
conversation.
sir.
I'd be doing something else.
That's true. That's true, man. That's true. And I'm telling you, man. And sometimes, and I would say, rejection is not always a negative reflection on you. Sometimes it's God closing one door, so He can open another. And I know you're a man of faith yourself, as I am, and I believe that God is both my parachute and my soft landing. You know, sometimes you don't have a parachute, and the fall is pretty rapid, but you need to land safely. And sometimes you need to land gently, although the surface may not be as comfortable. So, and I just believe God has the ability to do all of that and really set your destiny in motion. But I do think we play a role in our destiny. I do think we have something to say about that. There's something I call effort. But I also believe that it's better to be, slow and right and over being fast and wrong. Sometimes you get things too quick, like you said, and it turns out to be a mistake. And so yeah, Jay, man, I mean, I think that's incredible, man. I mean, your story. And he did mention that he was making $16,000 per year. And I want y'all to know, nowadays that's $100,000, just so you know how far back it was when he. I just wanted to make.
That's another one.
That's
That's a
$100,000
good
a day.
one.
But I'm going
That's
to
a
make
good
up
one.
for it. I'm a shout out to your
That's-
beautiful wife, Steph, man. And I
That's
love
good one. That's
Steph.
back to the AD joke.
I'm trying to like make up for it, man. So I love Steph because she thinks I'm cool. That's why I like her, and she takes my side, and I appreciate her for that. So make sure you let her know how much I appreciate her. But man, that's incredible,
Sure,
man.
I'll let her know.
And I'm sorry, man. I'll see if I still got her cell number. I'll text her. But man, I mean, it's incredible, man. But what I want to do, Jay, and I know you're busy, man. I want to bring you back for one last segment, and I want you to talk a little bit about what's going on with you now, how people can connect with you and that type of thing. Again, I know you're not a big self-promoter, but I do think it's important that people know how they can, reach out, connect with you should they need a keynote speaker, which Jay is, I'm telling you right now, top 10 keynote speaker. I'm telling you, he's done it for me a few times and brought the house down every single time. So at any rate, Jay,
You're right about that.
in a positive way. So, all right. So, Jay, man, we'll be right back. Thanks.